Hello and welcome. I am Raziel. Now, I've spoken about this before, and it's something I want to speak about again because I do think it's kind of important. And that's about preference, objective good and bad, and just individual opinion. Individual opinion is very important because it's what you personally feel. What I say here is my opinion, it's what I stand by, and it is what I say is what I believe. I'm not going to be one of these people that says something because it's popular. I'm going to say what I actually believe and what I think is true. If I'm wrong, and I will stand corrected. Yet, there's a lot of things people don't seem to understand when it comes to this, comes to an opinion, comes to an objective quality control, comes to preferential treatment or desires for a game or whatever. But most of the time, in the geek fandom, and this is something I don't like, it's something I really don't like, is you have to be one way or the other. You cannot be in the middle. How half the time you're insulted for being in the middle. It's like, yeah, don't be a fence sitter. It's like, well, I am not fence sitting. Well, you won't take a side. Yes, I've taken a side. And this is what I encourage you all to go on with. If you can get anything from this video, go with this. If you pick your own side, your own opinion, and you have chosen a side, you're not fence sitting. Yeah, yes, Raziel, get your mind out the gutter. You aren't fence sitting. You have picked a side. You have picked your own opinion, your own individuality over anything else. Just because you're not picking Games Workshop over Mantic, you're saying, like, I like what comes here, I like what comes here. I'm going to see both sides of the story. I'm going to have a clearer picture when I can do both, play both games, build both models, paint both models, do all that, and have my own clear opinion on which one I prefer. That's when I'll state an opinion. Until then, my opinion is I don't know. I don't know the qualities and the pros and cons of both sides. And that's where I think a lot of people don't like it. And of course, there's one thing as well, which I kind of want to bring up here, is like you'll see these conversations, blah, blah, blah versus blah, blah, blah. And you'll always get the one person or a couple of people says, what about blah, blah, blah? It's like, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the options. The options were that one and that one. If you don't like either, say you don't like either, or just keep your mouth shut. Why would you add this? Oh, so you don't like this either. If we take Marvel versus DC, this is a common one anyway. I rarely don't answer this, though I do prefer DC over Marvel, because my favourite comic brand is Image. I read Spawn. I love The Darkness. I'm reading Chew and Invincible right now. I like the new Witchblade and Battle Beast. So yeah, I prefer Image over both of those. But I couldn't, in good conscience, when someone says Marvel versus DC, go, oh, what about Image? Image is better. It's like, no, because those weren't the options given to me. And deciding to that you want to somehow shoehorn your favorite into as an option which isn't there is incredibly narcissistic. It is. Like, you want to feel special because they haven't picked the one that you like, so you have, because it's not known or it's very uncommon, and so you need to make sure that everyone knows about it. No, you're being a narcissist. And a lot of these people who pick a side and stick to that side tend to be narcissistic when they refuse to hear the opposition. Like Games Workshop fans who put down Mantic but never painted a model, never played a game, never built one, never done anything with Mantic, but just go, Mantic is rubbish because I've been told they're rubbish. Well, you're coming from a point of ignorance. You're coming from a statement of ignorance. That's what I want. You don't know. You don't even have an opinion on it because you're just rehashing someone else's opinion. I try my best to, when I talk about something that I like or I don't like, I will come from a place where I've watched it, played it, read it, whatever, right? I have interacted with that product in one way or another. And it won't come from a point where I will just repeat what everyone else is saying because that's what everyone else is saying. It's always going to be that I've done it and I've tried it and I'm coming from my own first-hand opinion from this. Now, this is where preference comes into it. As I said, some people stick one side or the other, and they'll call you a fence sitter and all that nonsense. Now, this is where preference comes into it. One thing I honestly believe in, and something that's going missing within dialogue today when it comes to geekdom, is preference. So, like I said, Marvel versus DC, or War Cradle versus Mantic. I like both, right? I like Marvel, I like DC. I like the Ultimate Universe with Marvel right now, and with DC, I like their older stuff, like Hush, The Blackest Night, and a lot of their older stuff, where, some new Ultimate Marvel I like as well. I like both, but if you were to ask me what my preference was, it's DC. It's not saying I hate Marvel. It's not saying I think Marvel sucks. It's I prefer DC. And if I talk about Mantic and War Cradle, I play more Mantic games. I play Firefight. I play Kings of War. I've started playing Halo. So I'm playing 3 Mantic games. But if you ask me, and just because of Wild West Exodus alone, I'm going to tell you, I prefer War Cradle. It doesn't mean I hate Mantic. It's completely, and it's not that at all. It's saying that if you were to give me a choice between War Cradle and Mantic, I'm going to choose War Cradle every time. Again, this isn't me going Mantic's rubbish, Mantic's bad. It's just me saying I prefer this one. And this idea of the conversation where where it's one or the other, where you have to pick a side and hate the other, is absolutely abominable. I see this because, look, I like Fallout. I like all the Fallout games, including 76 and including Fallout 4. Okay, not all of them. All the canon ones. So 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, 4, and 76. Brotherhood of Steel and Tactics suck, so... Really, and they're not canon, so I'm allowed to not count those. But given the main series, yeah, I like all of them. My choice, if I was to category them, would be 3, 2, New Vegas, 4, 1, 76. That's my order that I would go by. Does that mean I think I hate 76 because it's at the bottom? No. It's at the bottom because I prefer the other 5 first. And if we can get past this idea where just because someone prefers something to something else, it doesn't mean they hate or dislike the other thing. If we can get beyond always being told that we have to pick a side or we're fence sitting, we are never going to have healthy dialogue within our communities. If people are saying, I don't like female space marines, and anyone who likes them hates the hobby, I'm not a fan of female space marines, but if someone comes to my table and says, oh, I've made some female space marines, I'll be going, all right then, let's have a game. I'm not going to turn them down because they're playing female space marines. If they start talking absolute nonsense and distracting me from the game, that's when I'm going to say goodbye. And it doesn't matter what they're talking about. If it's distracting me and it's not part of the game, this is just my OCD, by the way, and my ADHD just going overdrive. Because I'm hyper focused on the game. That's all it is. When they start talking absolute it doesn't matter what side of the fence they're on. If they start saying oh, blah 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 is too woke, or blah 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 is misogynistic, I'm like, just go away. I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about the hobby. I want to talk about the narrative side. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I do not want you to bring modern politics into this. I don't care which side you're on. And they'll go, well, and always happens. If I say that to someone, maybe if they're on the left or if they're on the right, they will come down on me that I'm the opposite. I've been called bigot so many times because I'm like, I don't want to talk about female space marines. I've been called a leftard and rogue because I'm like, do you know what? I don't really care they have female space marines. It doesn't concern me. If someone makes female space marines and they play by the rules and we're having a fun game, why? That doesn't affect me. And so I'm getting really animated about this. But it is something I think, if you want proper discussion, you've got to allow people more creativity within the hobby. If they do something you don't like, don't play them. Fine, that's it. There's nothing more to it. If they build some models and you're like, well, these aren't canon, I'm like, and then you start talking about, but they're not part of the law. It's like, dude, it's their models. That's always going to be an argument of mine. When someone paints the models, doesn't matter how they're painting. It's like, it's their models. I haven't paid them. I didn't buy them. I don't care how someone paints their models. I don't care how people convert their models. And because it's none of my business. It's their product. It's their product. Their property. And if you're one of these people which has to pick a side, which has to be one or the other, you cannot see the middle ground, and you cannot ever talk openly and have a dialogue with the opposition because your side is always right and their side's always wrong. You really, really aren't a very intelligent person. I'm sorry, but you're not. Just to finish this video up, because I'm getting a bit too agitated. On social media at the moment, there's a post going around with no source, by the way, but I've read it now. I've read the source, I found it. That left-leaning people are more intelligent. They're like, oh, we know. Again, a lot of people, all the ones I've seen of this, haven't posted the source. I found the source, and what it actually says is centrists with moderate left are the most intelligent. The further you go away from each side, whether right wing or left wing, the stupider you are. Those with an anti-authoritarian bent, like myself, yeah, I do not like authority. I will go out my way to annoy authority. It just shows exactly what sort of people those who are far left and far right are. They're not smart people. The studies show that if you're beyond moderate left, your intelligence goes down. If you're someone who's open to dialogue and is in the center and wants to see both sides of the story, you tend to be more intelligent. Anyway, I rambled on enough for this. Have a lovely day. I hope you all have a great time. I'll see you all in the next video. As I said, my daughter did get me Saturnine box, so I will be reviewing that. It's not looking good, just so you know. And I will see you all in the next one. If you want to save money on your wargaming, there is, of course, Whaling Games down below with up to 20% off, free delivery up to £20, and a point system which gives you basically another 1% off, which is actually kind of cool. There's also Forbidden Planet, you like comics, DVDs, mangas, Marvel, DC, and all that cool stuff. That's down below as well. There's also my merchandise, links in the bio, links in the description, comics, t-shirts, all that cool stuff as well. My friend who has made Skyforge, give him a click, let's get him up the Google algorithm. And finally, Patreon because business, bye-bye. Which I will update this weekend, probably. Bye.